Cop sees combat vets live-streaming rare footage. This is a true story.
I just wanted to tell you, Officer Brown, I mean, you're taking money out of my kids' mouths.
Sorry.
Or you're taking food out of my kids' mouths.
Like I said, we
This
believe
US?
right now that this is drug proceeds, illicit currency.
Well, I'm going to prove to you that it's not.
Perfect.
Yes, this is dramatic for no reason. This is also boring. This is sad. This is hard to watch. I didn't start watching it.
That clip shows a retired U.S. Marine being robbed of his life savings on the side of a highway. He was not arrested for, charged with, or convicted of any crime. He wasn't even ticketed.
Let me give it a chance. I'll give it a chance.
Power that thousands of innocent Americans experience each year. Through a public records request, the Institute for Justice was able to acquire body and dash cam footage of an entire roadside seizure, from the initial traffic stop to the seized money being deposited at the bank. This is the most complete footage we have ever seen. On February 19, 2021, our client Stephen Lara was pulled over outside of Reno by the Nevada Highway Patrol. He was driving to visit his daughters in a small California town just west of Reno.
Okay.
Driver of this vehicle was following that red and influenced semi-truck.
Pagman new sub badge.
Driving under the speed limit. Stop him up there, Mustang.
Wait, I'm gonna speed limit. Guys, I'm confused, chat. Guys, if he's behind under the speed limit.
Yeah, you know, initially I thought I was getting pulled over because maybe I had expired tags. I had a rental car. Unfortunately, I had some car trouble, and that was necessary to get a rental car for a short duration for that weekend.
I'm doing great. Hey, the reason I'm stopping you, we have a special enforcement campaign going on. We're trying to educate drivers about violations they may not realize they're committing, but we're seeing a big increase in crashes out here. First, applaud you on your driving. You drive great. You're driving really slow. It appears that you're trying to drive safely under the speed limit. I appreciate that. I just want to talk about your following distance, especially around commercial vehicles.
The Highway Patrol officer
What?
seems friendly and reasonable at first, even complimenting Stephen's driving. He orders Stephen to exit his vehicle and starts asking him a series of questions unrelated to why he was pulled over. Police often ask questions like this to see if a suspect's story lines up.
You a fighter? A fighter? Yeah.
Wait, his story about what though?
You got a tap-out shirt on.
What kind of story?
I got a lot of training. I'm a retired Marine.
What do your daughters do, man?
Ever been in trouble with law enforcement before?
When did you leave? What part of Texas are you thinking of buying a house in? What were you doing for work up there?
The officer then explains the real reason he pulled Stephen over.
Interview
Hey,
Ivan.
while I'm working on this, let me ask you something, man. This is going to sound kind of weird. Part of my job out here is I do what's called highway interdiction. I look for people that are smuggling contraband through our state, across the country, weapons, humans, drugs, illicit currency, things like that. Anything in the vehicle I should be aware of? Okay. No firearms? No explosives? Okay. Are there any drugs in the vehicle? Cocaine?
I don't do drugs.
Yeah, I gotta ask all these silly questions, right? Okay. Any large amounts of United States currency in the vehicle? Okay. What's a large amount of U.S. currency to you? Okay. So there's over 10,000 in there? Okay. How much money you got in there? Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Would you give me permission to search your vehicle today? That's okay with you? Okay, perfect.
Although it's Stephen's right to refuse, he gives the officer permission to search his car.
I didn't want to come across as being
Yeah, that's fair enough.
non-cooperative or combative, so I did what I felt was right, and I was very honest, very forthcoming. I was also very respectful, and I just wanted to make their job as easy as possible so that I could be on my way to spend time with my children.
Chat, to me that seems kind of reasonable. I get it, chat. Don't talk to the police, don't do that, don't do that. And I get it, but if you're cordial and there's no problem and you just go through the interaction, it could be in a flash and you're good to go.
How are you?
Unless...
Good.
Unless...
Hey, can you head out to a traffic stop? Or are you busy on that other stuff? No, it's So far, I'm still searching a car,
Yeah.
but big bundle of money says probably at least 100,000.
That interaction shows what's at the heart of the officer's interest in Stephen. He knows that even though Stephen did nothing wrong, the DEA will adopt the seizure of his cash and return a portion of the money to the Highway Patrol for the favor of giving them the case.
What?
Here's how an adoption works.
Guys, the DEA? So any money you have is drug money? It can't be
When
anything else
state
but
or
like
local
sales
police
of...
seize cash, cars, or other property, federal law enforcement takes over the forfeiture. The federal agency does all the work and kicks back up to 80% of the proceeds to the state agency that seized the property. In Stephen's case, that would mean the DEA would take control of the cash and seek to forfeit it through federal law, ignoring the important limitation.
I understand how 100K is worth a lot of money. I understand. But I'm sure that there's a story or there's an explanation that isn't just, guys, let's give the money to the DEA. Was there any indication that this money was related to drug sales, drug
that Nevada law
purchase,
places
drug anything at
on
all?
seizures and forfeitures. In 2019 alone, federal agencies made $334 million in equitable sharing payments to state and local law enforcement agencies. In this case, the Nevada Highway Patrol stands to gain nearly $70,000 by taking Stephen's money.
I think you're a good guy.
I'm a good guy.
So how much cash is that?
About 100 grand.
100 grand. Okay. So, as you know, right, I'm a vet, he's a vet, you're a vet. It's not illegal to carry currency, have currency.
Yes, sir, it's not.
It does, though, make us ask some questions on why someone has 100,000. I can understand why you don't trust banks, especially in this day and age right now.
Stephen keeps his savings in cash.
Quick question, Chad, guys. Let's say this was in Nevada and you went into the casino and you win 100K on the small bet and you take your cash out, right? And you drive your car and you get pulled out at the exit of the fucking strip or whatever, and they could just get all of it and say, yo, dude, that's drug money?
Maybe that's uncommon, but as the officer acknowledges, it's not illegal.
I have nothing to hide from you.
I appreciate that. Give me a few seconds, can I make a couple phone calls, right?
The officer first calls his superior. He interrupts that call to speak again with the DEA agent.
Are you on your way out here? Oh,
This music, though.
I'm waiting to hear back from Shane to see if he comes out here. This is a...
You have to prove it, though.
It's a strange one, but not a strange one. Consented to a search, said there was money up there. We located what he says is $100,000. It's in a Ziploc sandwich baggie. There's also, I haven't gone into it a bunch. I'm waiting to hear back from Shane, but there's a bunch of bank receipts and stuff.
A Ziploc baggie?
To show...
Is it just a Ziploc bag?
This might be Shane. Hold on a second. This is Shane. Let me call you back.
Yeah, I guess the way he makes it sound like it's drug, though.
Around 20 minutes later, the officer's superior, a highway patrol sergeant, is recorded on his body cam chatting with the same DEA agent who apologizes for not being able to make it.
No issues. It's too easy to do an adoption. You know, we contacted you, so I think everything's going to be okay. And I'll text you the money count after we get it. It'll probably be a couple hours.
Remember, there's still no probable cause to seize Stephen's money. All the officers have is a large amount of cash, and cash is not a crime. But the sergeant isn't giving up.
So why the distrust for the banking system?
I just don't trust him. That's just my reasoning. It's my personal thing.
Oh, I'm not trying
And,
to convince you
I
one or
like-
the other. It's just it's not usual.
After questioning Stephen, the sergeant speaks privately with the officer who pulled him over.
What are your thoughts, Chris?
I kind of leaning more towards it's odd, but
It's odd, but it's not packaged
it's
like
not.
normal.
No, and he's answering the questions. There's receipts here, and
I would
even
like
though
to put the dog on the currency, man.
Okay.
The two officers agree that Stephen has been forthcoming and has years' worth of bank receipts showing that he has withdrawn his savings from his
The
bank
dog.
accounts. But the sergeant orders the junior officer to put the
Chat,
dog on
I
the
wonder now,
currency.
I wonder, is this a little bit like when they test a thing with the swabs for drugs or whatever? Like the slightest amount will alert. I feel like this will alert 100%. Guys, if you have 100K in worth of bills, there's for sure a couple that are gonna flag.
The sergeant puts Stephen's money in an open Ziploc bag and throws the open package to the ground on the side of the road, less than 40 yards from Stephen's car.
What? Okay.
Positive alert.
We'll go forward with it.
Okay.
This positive alert appears to have given the sergeant what he thinks he needs to take Stephen's life savings. Remember, both officers have planned all along to hand the money to the DEA. They are looking for a legal justification. But numerous studies have shown anywhere between 67 and 100% of US currency has trace amounts of drugs. For that reason, a dog alert to currency on its own does not show the currency was used in an illegal drug transaction.
Especially since there's 100K worth of it, dude.
What we're gonna do, I believe there's drug proceeds, dog alerted to it.
Drug proceeds?
Yeah, it's very common, sir. We get people that are trafficking large quantities of marijuana from Northern California to all states east, even from Reno.
Sir, I can tell you right now, there's...
I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, okay? We're going to seize it today, but that doesn't mean we're the final judgment on it. It's going to go through the DEA, okay? So the DEA will contact you, and the DEA will provide you with a means to fight it. You're going to have to provide your pay stubs. You're going to have to provide your other receipts and stuff like that, okay?
Stephen now has nothing. He had to convince his brother to wire him $1,000 to continue his trip to see his daughters.
Just want to let you know, I know you're just doing your job. That money I worked really hard for. The money that I have in my jacket is only $3. I have money to pay for my kids, my bills, my hotel. We're going to get that car back to Texas. So,
That was pretty fucked up.
stuck here unless somebody sends me some money. There's no way I'm providing for my children this month. Get back.
Well, you guys say if you go into the casino, you have a receipt, right? But it seems like these guys had no interest into looking for receipts, or he just said, oh, the dog alerted, GG, it's gone. It seems kind of lame.
After nearly an hour and a half on the side of a highway, Stephen was given a receipt for US currency with a number to call the DEA agent.
What if I had $1 million? Of course, that flag it.
That's what you get, yes, sir. You're going to get noticed in the mail as well at that address, okay?
I find it even more so concerning that if this could happen to me as a combat veteran who served overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan,
That was a disaster. Okay.
this could happen to anybody.
After 6 months without his nearly $87,000, Stephen sued the DEA in federal court to get it back. Only then, after the Institute for Justice filed a lawsuit on his behalf and the Washington Post called the agency for a comment, did they agree to return Stephen's cash. Stephen may have gotten back his money, but his case goes on. Stephen and the Institute for Justice are also suing the Nevada Highway Patrol in state court to make sure that this doesn't
6
happen
months.
to anyone else.
6 months though.
Stephen-
What if you had invested that in certain like safe stocks or whatever, and you could have made a lot of money with that? That's a lot of purchasing power that's lost though.
Situation isn't unique.
They
but he is one
should
of the
definitely
lucky
get like a
ones.
certain amount of
He will
money,
get his money back.
for free.
Most victims of forfeiture don't have a public interest law firm like IJ to take their case. And if they cannot afford an attorney and cannot figure out how to navigate convoluted forfeiture processes on their own, the government walks away with their property without ever having to
He doesn't
prove
trust
any
banks. He's not
crime.
gonna invest it. Yeah, but
This highway
it's just a principle. It's by
robbery
principle.
must end. It is time to abolish civil forfeiture.
Dude. It's the principle, motherfucker. Motherfucker. We just saw Doctor Strange. He looked kind of okay, I guess.